Manta, 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 wamali wene manta. Manta, 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 wamali wene manta. Tonight, 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 tonight is great night. 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 Thank you, Amadou. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, how beautiful was that? All right, si sharaf aan igu salaamaya iga qaadaya. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, you guys, si fiican ii salaamaya. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, hal mar kale ku celina maxaa rabaa sinuswar dad inay ogaato maanta inay meerad muslim inay dooratay hay'adaha. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That is perfection. Waan la maqlay. Horta hore cid saasiya iska helo, aaba saasiya iska helo. Thank you, Abo. You know, into wuu ilaahay sheeko inuu nii sheeko oo ka xisaabsan aniga markaa yaraa oo my favorite story ka haysto. So my dad used to take us to the ocean and we used to go swimming, right? Me, my older brother, and my twin brother. And he would go and saddexda wiil, labada wiil iyo aniga, and badda ku soo hormaraa. madaxa u galaa, as you would say, madaxa u galaa anigoo dabaal garanayniya. And wiilasha intuu soo qabanayo naadiya u jeedaa ku hayso. Next thing you know, my head is like literally popping up, and you know I'm not afraid, obviously, because you know courage waa loo dhashtay, you know. Geesimo waa loo dhashtay. Sheekadaas inuu ka sheekeeyay ahayd, and that's my favorite story, is that I'm a survivor. All right, it doesn't matter. I'm a survivor, and that's my favorite story. But intaan ay garanaynin magacayga waa Nadiya Mohamed. Maanta Soomaali fiican baan isoo diyaariyaa ku dhahay. Mujeedaa Soomaali waan isoo bartaa ku dhahay. Mujeedaa intaas dhan isoo beedad. But unfortunately, waqad way iga halaaday iga raali hooda. So English baa ku bedela heeda. Inta fan ku haysta wallahi waa la laabtay way halaaday cidiin way iga soo dhacday so iga raali hooda. But inta igaranaynin, like I said, magacayga waa Nadiya Mohamed, maxaa ahay council member for the city of St. Louis Park. Haddana maxaa lagu doortay mayorka for the city of St. Louis Park. Well, mayor-elect for the city of St. Louis Park. Jake Spano, I don't want to take his title away. He still has another month or so, you know. This is right. I mean, you are right, Jake. This is your goodbye party, so bye. I would like us to just kind of wave to him as he's leaving at the end of the night, you know, have a grand time. But I'm going to tell you, I know that as I look around this room, I see a lot of people who've been with me since 2019, since I first started, when I first ran. And a lot of you know my story, but I want to get on here and share it again. You've already heard that I've been living here for the past 18 years. And my family and I moved here from Somalia and Kenya, very much like everybody else here, for a better life, right? And then, alhamdulillah, we were able to make a better life for ourselves, and we were able to go into this community, this amazing, beautiful community, which, by the way, you are in tonight. Usually when these parties take place, it's happening in Minneapolis, and we're just happy that it's happening here, right? As you can see, it's a very beautiful city. And this is where I grew up, and this is where I've made a community, and this is where I've made my mark, as you can see. And from the time that I graduated from high school, I wanted to make sure that St. Louis Park heard from people who looked like me, right? Not necessarily Muslim, not necessarily Somali, but every other person that represents and lives and works and loves this community that they're being heard from, right? And so I made it a point to go into every aspect of St. Louis Park, whether it was the police department, the community ed, and I was able to have an opportunity to run for city council at the age of 23 because the council members and the mayors then recognized that Black voices are needed, Muslim voices are needed, Somali voices are needed, right? BIPOC voices are needed. And the hard work that they put in to allow room for that has been amazing. So I want to thank the council who's sitting here. I want to thank Mayor Jake Spano. I want to thank Larry Kraft, who used to be a former council member. I want to thank Council Member Lynette and Council Member Yolanda Ferris. I know that our other Council Member Sue Budd was here too. And so I want to thank all of them. And then the ones that came before them, Tom Miller and Mavity, all of them who were able to open up the space for me to do my work. Right? Speaking of thank yous, I'm looking around the room and I'm looking at everybody who's been with me since day one, who's been door knocking with me. And honestly, if I could call out everybody, we'd be here all day, and then we couldn't see Sultan Sarar, could we? We'd be here all night. So I'm going to keep it short, and just know that I'm standing here in absolute gratitude for the community that stood behind me, in front of me when needed, to the side, to the left, whatever it may be, right? Y'all stood with me. And so I want to highlight the youth who have come out. I know there's like, they weren't here tonight, but I had a campaign manager who is of youth, right? I had high school students who came, door knocked after going to the high school, and they came back and they door knocked and they, they did their civic duty. I also want to highlight again Kosar and Anissa and Bahja. Thank you. You guys, since I was Saudi, because apparently they're taking applications. Right? And I think the most important thing that I have learned from this campaign, and it was a hard one, it was for the people who remember, it was 6 months of talking to this person, fundraising and door knocking, and I was able to learn that it's not that the young generation aren't sitting out or that they don't care, it's that they're not engaged. It's that you are not knocking on their doors and telling them, hey, I'm doing this, would you be interested? How I got these young kids who are wanting to work in my campaign was because I was able to reach out to people and say, hey, come on in, you don't need any experience, come do this, I will teach you everything you need to know, right? And now today, maybe one of those 3 girls could run for office next, or maybe they could become lawyers or doctors or teachers or whatever it may be, right? But I was able to, I'm so happy to be able to hold space for that type of experience and for that type of learning. I'm also seeing everybody's uncle, auntie, everybody, right? One of my residents who, when I first announced that I was running, he said, Adero, I got you, fundraising mo bahan taha, hadda kuso sameyna, don't worry, Adero, magaranaysa sida fundraising lo sameeyo, may ba haba ka walwali, Adero, ana ku xalina, Adero, liban waa kasaa ujeeda, mashallah, thank you, right? And so then there's so many people I see, as I look around, I also see people who are part of the DFL party and the caucus and who are wanting to get people of color elected, right? And that's really important. So now, moving on from my thank yous, I actually want to stand here and give you 2 messages. That's it. Tonight, I'm only going to say 2 main things, and I hope you guys go home with it and y'all listen, right? So you've already met my parents, and when I was growing up, they used to love telling me about folklore, like especially Somali folklore, right? Whether it's Degder, y'all remember Degder? Who was scared of Degder over here? She was frightening, woo! And there's Weewal, right? But my favorite one that I still take with me everywhere I go is the story of the father and his 5 sons. I'm sure you guys know that story, right? So I'm going to tell you that story, and I'm going to start, of course, the traditional way, because we're traditional. Sheko sheko. Ooh, we can do better than that. Sheko sheko. Yeah. There's an old man. There's an old man who was a father of 5 boys. Very much like every Somali story, this is happening under a gid, under a tree. He's sitting under the shade of a tree. And he calls his 5 sons and he says, you guys, come sit down. Come sit in front of me, right? And so the sons come and he says, Orad ka gib kana. He tells every single one of them, go grab a stick. And so all 5 of them, because body way, right? Where behen, stick beso kapsadan. We're so with the fadisten. He said, stigga. Every single son was told, break the stick. It was an individual stick, break the stick. and every single one of them broke it, from the first one to the fifth one, right? And the father said, okay, now get up again, grab another stick. And they're like, Abba, why are you making me do that? That was a joke, y'all, come on now. That was a long night, but, give me a little giggle, a little hee-hee, But, of course, body again, they're good sons. So they get up and they grab another stick. And so the father grabs each one of their sticks and he wraps it around. And he says to the first son, try and breaking it. The first son grabs it, tries to break it, couldn't do it. Second son grabs it, tries to break it, couldn't do it. Again and again and again and so forth up until the fifth one, right? And the dad says, so I see none of y'all went to the gym tonight. Come on, I'm checking to see who's listening, y'all. Come on. So he didn't say that, of course. You guys know the story. And so the father says, I hope you guys know why I am doing this. This wasn't purposeless. The purpose of this is for you guys to know that apart we fall, we break, right? Together we are strong. You weren't able to break these 5 sticks together, not because you're not strong enough, because, but because it was together. And so that togetherness builds strength, right? And so I don't know if that story is real or fake or, What? Oh, it's a real story that really happened, y'all. There we go. But here's the thing. I will tell you a real story. And since we're in America, I'm gonna actually tell you about America, right? And so when America first was becoming a country of its own, it had 13 colonies. And the 13 colonies couldn't come together to handle their business or, to fight for their independence against the United Kingdom, right? And they wanted to do it, but they couldn't because there was 13 colonies, 13 different districts and colonies trying to make their own decision. And so out came this cartoon that has a picture of a snake, right? And the snake was broken into halves, or pieces, I should say. And at the bottom, sorry y'all, it gets dark. At the bottom it says, join or die. And so and went everywhere. And because of that, the 13 colonies realized that if they are one colony against the United Kingdom, they are not going to survive. They will indeed die. If they are 13 colonies against the United Kingdom, they might have a fighting chance. So that saying of join or die, that cartoon, right, that was invented way before. It was drawn way before, right? But that became the premise and the mission for the 13 colonies. And up until there were 13, from 13 up until 50, they still continuously work together, did they not? The 50 states still are one nation, are they not? Right? Now it gets, lately it's been a little decisive? My English is testing me there. A little I'm here, you are there, stay away from me, I'm this side, you this side, right? And you see the consequences of that. So I tell you these 2 stories because I ran and I will continue to promote and advocate for unity, to the ability for us to get the work done together. Thank you. And I will say, obviously, it is no surprise, just look at this room, but honestly, it is no surprise that we have the largest Somali concentration in Minnesota. Oh, well, no, sorry, we have the largest concentration in Minnesota all around this country, right? So we have the biggest Somali population here outside of Somalia. That's the best way to say it, right? Sabas, you guys, sabas. Thank you. Right? Because we're a huge population. So what do we do with those numbers? We get the work done together. We work together, right? And when we are, whether we're running for office, whether we're building our businesses, whether we're getting our education on, whether we're pursuing higher education, whatever it may be, it's important that we work together and that we get the job done together, right? Right, you guys? Thank you. I will say, in that spirit of togetherness, in that spirit of iskalmasho, isawis, isgarbistag, right? In that spirit, and I will pause here and I'll say this. Marka aniga bisha bilahi hadda soo tartamayay qofa isoo fadhiisay ee dhahday naadiyo horta dad Soomaali soo loo hadashay ma garanaysid. Asna waxa ka wada Soomaaliga waa garanaa waxa u garaway. You see? It's getting better. As Somali waa garanaa waxa u garaway. May sida Soomaaliga dad sida Soomaalis u hadashay ma garanaysid. Sida Soomaali loo hadlo. As hay Soomaali soo loo hadlaa. Marka Soomaalida har joogtid markasta war macaan la ku dhahdaa. Right? Somali wax inay sameeyso deerta dhiig ina karisid waa Allah dhiigooda soo kari haye soo caawo dhiigani karina ayna waan ugu daraa hayadaha soo iyo galaado hadii marka unity ka hadloono iskaalmashada ka hadloono often gabdho ma ku darno gabartii markay meel ku dhawaaqdo mise meel aadayso mise wax meel ah sameeyna waxa sameeyna ay dhahdo wala kala jijifa ha hoy ha guuleysato meel ha ka soo baxdo magaca yeeshato wala ya gabdhaheni alla manoli alla gabdho Soomaaliyeed wala oga ya now ayda taasay hadiya diga hubna karkarteen because maxaraba inaan ku daro equation ka dumarka Soomaaliyeed because warun hore guulkay waa guul Soomaaliyeed but more importantly waa guul dumar Soomaaliyeed I don't want anybody in this room to forget that this is a win for women and often in our community we don't allow that to happen we don't give space for that to happen maxaraba taas ina ka bedelo because warun our women, right? Dumarka Somaliyed, warun, they are our mothers, our daughters, our sisters, our nieces and not nephew, nieces, right? They are all those things to us. And they are our doctors, our teachers, our lawyers, our accountants, our journalists, our senators. Thank you, our congresswomen, and now our mayor. So when we encourage women to do the big things and to be not to limit them right هذا محد اوجد gabar waaye iska day ma iska xaro guriga iska war lagu dhahay waaya ogaada hadaan iska xaro laha caaw meesha ma joogi lahayn caaw saan u dabaaldegi lahayn taasina ogaada raba taasina fariinta ku daraaraba as gacan keeno meel iska soo saarno guriga gadano businesses furano dadka ka cabaadsiino codkeena la maqlo power dhisano anigane while I'm in St. Louis Park I'm here in my own little corner of the world believe me I will handle my business over here too like a Somali woman would dhaxda baxirna as you guys would say afar sana ba iyaate it's 4 years of that right and I will do that so I hope that wherever that our girls decide to go whatever that they decide to pursue that we are able to stand with them as a community and that we are able to do what they need us to do and not just come out makia gulka yeah okay come to go and get in yeah hadan haraba ina this time waqtigan ku qaato I want to take this time to pause and center some of the things that's been happening in Somalia. There's been a recent flood in Somalia, in southern Somalia, and we already know it's displaced 2 million people. It's also killed 100 people. I don't know the exact count, but we've been following the news. First and foremost, dadkaas waa u duceynaya ducadeena la joogto ducadeena we'll send our prayers, right? But better than that, I'm hoping that we're able to donate what we can, however we can, whenever we can, because dadkaas way noo baahan yihiin maanta we have the privilege to live here a life here in Minnesota that is of privilege compared to the life that the people are living who have been displaced and so it is our obligation our humanly obligation our Muslim obligation to donate and to keep them in mind and ducadeena u dirno right so thank you maanta muruga ay ila tahay ina gabar oo you know aniga fursadda haysto inaan haysan xataa maybe who knows laba jeer hadda waxa sameeyay laba jeerkeeda sameeyay lahayd inay sameey karin sababtoo meesha clamoriga meesha ka socoto, right? So I'll keep it I know I keep saying I'll keep it short. All in all, I just want to say thank you so much. I'm thankful to my family. I'm thankful to my friends. I'm kind of looking around to see where they are, who've been door knockers and donors and everything in between. I'm seeing Kaltuma, I'm seeing Karima, I'm seeing Nadira, I'm seeing, I don't know, I'm seeing Mahdi, I hope I'm seeing him. I'm seeing Ismail, I'm seeing all of my friends who've been coming out and did everything. Thank you, Arwa, I see you right up front, I can't forget you. I also want to include Zainab, who's also came. You know, it's not every day. It's not every day that you get an elected official who's able to come out and just say, you know what, I can commit Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday, and then do this afterwards. So thank you so much. And thank you for everybody who was able to put this together. I wanted my colleagues to see how Somali people celebrate, and we went big, y'all. And thank you for welcoming us. Thank you again. And I will end it with this. Somali hanolato. Dadkeena ha noolaadaan, dadkeena ha isgarab istaagaan, ha iscaawiyaan, ha iskalmeeyaan. Thank you. You cannot imagine sharafta maanta iisamaysan? Sharafta maanta yeah, you cannot imagine. Maanta aad u faraxsanahay, wallahi aad u faraxsanahay. Sida fan u heesanayna again, meelka baa iga soo dhacaybo. So that's what it is. Thank you so much, Mahadsani. Thank you.